Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation hosted by CJ Abernathy for South Dakota District 23 Senate 2020. A father, an activist, a Marine Corps combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, Purple Heart recipient with a bachelor's degree in information technology software engineering. CJ is the executive producer for the Adam vs. the Man podcast with Adam Kokesh, and the CEO of Internet Warlords, the War for the Internet, as well as a former 2018 South Dakota Libertarian gubernatorial candidate, and a 2020 South Dakota delegate to the Libertarian National Convention. If you would like to join this broadcast, click the link in the description. Coffee and a Conversation starts now. Have a great day or don't. The choice is always yours.
"17 days, 15 hours, and 25 minutes, 30 seconds, 27 seconds, 25 seconds. Slowly, the clock is winding down on election 2020. I wasn't going to go live this morning and give my morning rant because I thought, it's okay. I'll just let this one be today. Thought, I'll sleep in. Then my brain started going, and I started saying, well, shit, somebody's got to wake up and say the truth. Is it going to be you today? Maybe we'll see. As always, shoot. I guess I did forget, so give me just a moment. It takes me about 30 seconds here. If you'd like to join this broadcast, there will be a link in the description for Facebook, but not YouTube today. It's there. You just got to back out, refresh. If you'd like to join the broadcast, just push the button and make it known that you'd like to say some words today. If not, then enjoy. Tune in, tune out, your choice. Yesterday, great show with Adam versus the Man, discussing whether or not we live in a simulation, being a 50-50 chance. It's like, well, 50-50. I mean, it's coin flip, so might as well just take it for what it's worth, make the best of it. But 17 days left until election 2020. And I keep thinking to myself, as we get down towards the last 10 to 5 days, there's going to be lots of October surprises. There's going to be lots of, well, look at this thing. Did you see that picture? Have you heard this story? Did you see? Don't you know? How could yous? I remember about this time 4 years ago, I was confident as hell Donald J. Trump's going to be your next president of the United States when they're saying Hillary Clinton. I'm confidently telling you it was going to be Trump. I was telling you it was going to be Trump before Trump was even telling you he was going to run for president. Now, on principle, I'm voting for Jo Jorgensen this election for several reasons. Just to be clear, and it's not one in particular reason. There are a litany of reasons why I'm not voting for Donald Trump that I can articulate to anyone, coherently, clearly, and I mean, just to name a few, I like taking guns first, going to court second to get the due process. Due process is inconvenient to taking your guns. I also don't like the fact that he said that, I own Miss Teen USA. I can walk into these dressing rooms where 15-year-old girls are naked. I mean, granted, again, these are all things that you should expect from a loudmouth president, to say things that are in effect Shocking. Now, last night, I tuned in to the presidential town halls, the opposing town halls, for about 30 seconds each. Nothing that's going to make me go and say I watched the whole thing, or did you see that moment when, or nothing like that. But what I noticed was two stark differences in appearance and feel for the different candidates. With Joe Biden, you just felt like the guy wanted to sniff a kid. Like if there was a kid somewhere in that vicinity, that's what he would want to do. He'd want to be sniffing the kid. Trump looks like he got caught walking into a 15-year-old dressing room. That's the feeling and the vibe that both of these candidates gave off yesterday. Like one was justifying constantly, and the other one was just looking for a kid to sniff. And one felt like a prosecution hit piece. The other one felt like a deposition. So it was very, very interesting for the 30 seconds of each that I caught. Now, I scrolled, I went through, I picked this thing up, and I was like, okay. I see where the stupid on both sides of the aisle are going with it after that. But I want you guys to realize something. And this is not for your average, everyday, hardworking voter who's an independent voter. I'm talking to the die-hard Trumpophile pedocrat audience. You guys are retarded. You have the memory of a goldfish. You don't critically think. You are, I mean, at this point in our nation's history, they believe they're the free thinkers too. It's like, how are you telling me that you're the free thinker, you're the independent thinker, you're the righteous voter? I've learned in my life that voting for those two parties, it's not freedom. It's you signaling your willingness to be a slave, because there's way too many roadblocks. How can you look at those two parties and go, we have a legit constitutional form of government? Again, the Articles of Confederation aside, Mr. Kokesh, how do you justify it? Honestly, I mean, because again, you're the same people that say, oh, CJ, you're a fucking idiot. But then I look at you and you're no different. You're one in a million in the crowd of the Gear Queer Weekend Warrior Trumpophiles. You know, you're just another, Karen supporting Biden. Look at Taylor Swift, for example. How dumb. If my daughters get to the age of adulthood and endorse the current two-party duopoly, I'm going to disown them as children, because I will have failed as a parent. I might just jump off the cliff. If my 18-year-old daughter goes, Daddy, I'm voting for Joe Biden, I will have failed as a father. If my 18-year-old daughter said, I'm voting for Donald Trump, I've failed as a father. Not only did I fail as a father to my young girls to even inform them that there's a woman that's more qualified running for president, but that there was even more than those two choices to begin with. It blows my mind how we can look at the screen and go, yeah, this is okay. This is okay, because it's not. It's not okay. It's ruining a lot of people's mental health. And believe it or not, there's at least 100 people that are going to kill themselves over the weekend between now and Monday morning. By the time I hit that live button again, even hearing me, even if they were like, well, this is about to go down for real. Oh, wait, what's this video right here? Oh, somebody doing push-ups. Yeah. Oh, what's this guy ranting in that hat there? Oh, he's telling me that I should live to see Tuesday. Yeah, okay. All right. Not going to happen. So there is a clear distinction between quality of life and who we allow to become president of the United States. And if you look back at history, go all the way back to the Democrat Republicans. Way back when Democrat Republicans used to be a thing. In fact, you know what? They were big central bankers back when this country was founded. Surprising little lost history that the Democrat Republicans or Republican Democrats, whichever one you want to refer to them as, when they used to be a one party, then somebody came along and said, hey, you know what, if we just split this down the middle and pretend to be two parties, over time we'll make a comeback and we'll control this whole fucking thing with a central bank. Because smarter people than me figured that out a long time ago. Whether or not you are smart enough to figure this out today is a whole different subject. So we don't really have two choices for the duopoly candidates. You really get one. You get a blue flavored brand of child molestation or a red flavored brand of child molestation. Either way, we're all getting fucked. And it's not going to be enjoyed. And, you know, because here's the thing. I tell a Democrat, and this is what bugs the fuck out of me. Democrat, hey, your guy sniffs kids. Yeah, well, your guy likes to grab 15-year-old pussy. So you can't even defend. Like, there is no middle ground of defense anymore. You can't look at both candidates and go, because they'll talk. Well, you know, because right after I hear that you like to go in and look at 15-year-old girls naked, I really care about what you have to say about climate change. You know, I really care about your tax policy. Once I've seen you groping little kids in front of their parents in the Senate, I really care about what you're going to do for America. We can't even have this conversation anymore because of what these two parties have done. In fact, I believe in the all-seeing of conspiracies that the RNC and the DNC and to some cases the LNC, in which case they responded to the other two parties, have picked the parity of all our parties. Okay, you guys want to pick two old grumpy, you know, kid-sniffing child molesters? Well, we're going to pick a psychologist doctor woman. Okay? Like, we're not even picking the best candidate. We're just going to pick the one that's going to butt up against your two stereotypes, and it's going to be a no-brainer. Would you like to vote for a child molester or a doctor in psychiatry? I mean, wait. Don't even say Trump, Biden, Jorgensen, Hawkins, nothing. Don't say their names. Just describe their characteristics. And then again, and do it so to the meanest extent. How mean can we be with Joe? Let's try to really roast Joe Jorgensen this morning. Let's see how many sexual allegations we can find on Google. Oh, none. My $100 has been safe this whole time. You know? Now, Mr. Hawkins, Green Party, I should preface this with, I don't believe has any sexual allegations. Again, I don't know the man, haven't researched him enough to even find out if that's a case. But I'm assuming with a female vice presidential candidate that had he been accused of that misconduct, she probably wouldn't be endorsing the guy. I would at least hope. I mean, well, then there's Kamala Harris, of course, who can literally watch kids get sniffed in the Senate building itself by the vice president and go, yeah, he's racist. I was on a bus because of this guy. Yeah, let's vote for him. Let's endorse him. In fact, let's run for vice president with him. Blows my mind. Blows my mind because, again, people fall for this. Why? I mean, it's like sharpen your number 2 pencil, make sure you got an eraser, and get ready to learn something. Take fucking notes. Do something. that's going to make you realize that by voting for the same two fucking parties that have been in control, yours and my entire lifetime, convincing me and you that, well, I'm different from them. Really, it's when it's all just in control to who can spend that big nut called the taxpayer dollar. And who can impose laws and enforce with force you to pay their taxes. And if you don't, well, let's look at the litany of things that can happen when you don't pay your taxes. Well, CJ, I'd vote for Jo Jorgensen, but you're an asshole. Well, you're a coward. You're using a blaming excuse of me. You're using this lame excuse that because I'm an asshole to you, because I guess I am, that you're not going to vote for Jo Jorgensen. Well, CJ, it's because you're an asshole. I can't emphasize this enough how lazy that is. I can't emphasize enough how pathetic it is that you can listen to the words I'm saying and again, separate me from whom I'm even voting for. What are you going to get different between a Trump, Biden, Jorgensen, or Hawkins administration that we have now? Well, if you vote for somebody that is a third-party candidate and they get over a certain percent, then we receive the ability to have a federal assistance and recognition in our races. It's a benefit to all our candidates. It's not a wasted vote. Yes, I can be an asshole. Like, I wake up in the morning and I go, I wonder how I can piss off that one Trumpophile. I wonder what words I can say that are going to make a pedocrat realize they're voting for a pedophile. And believe me, there have been a few that I'm not going to sit out here and name drop at the moment, but a few people that used to be prominent figures of voting for Trump, like prominent, and in their own time have endorsed Jo Jorgensen, which is, in my opinion, it's like we're all sitting at a desk, and they have a test. It's called the Constitution, and it's called America, and we all had to read the thing like this, and this. And we get to the end of the book. And there's a test, and it's who are you voting for president? We all have to fill it out. The ones that vote for Democrats or Republicans are the ones that didn't read the book to begin with. That's it. That's it. You're just the people that didn't read the book. Because if you did, there is zero chance, and I mean zero chance, of you actually voting for anybody other than Jo Jorgensen or even Howie Hawkins, even where I disagree with him. But the very first thing that this president wanted you to know is if it comes down to two parties, we're all fucked. But here you are like, no, we're George Washington, yeah, monument, president. Oh, all right. That's all I got to say about that. Matt, you're not late. You're always on time. You misspelled my name, CJ Abernathy. What's up, Gray Moon? I hate this choosing between two evils. I wish they would take the Libertarian Party serious. We could actually make a difference. Yeah, well, the thing is that we already do make a difference. And that's the point that I want to get at for sure by the end of this. Excuse me. Is that by being actively and engaged in politics, because politics is actively engaged with us, us with just even a little support in the Libertarian Party can challenge these monopoly duopoly states and really make some big impacts and big moments. Look, for example, in Kentucky, I believe that was, Arkansas, Mr. Harrington, is that his last name as well? Yeah, big splash, single candidate debate. It's like, imagine walking up to a debate stage and your opponent says, nah, I'm just gonna let you take the mic for an hour. Every one of us political candidates think that's like a wet dream moment. Like, pinch me. Did I wake up in a different universe where I get to speak for an hour and not be interrupted by dumb? Thank you. So we can make big impacts. And there is no doubt, zero doubt in my mind, folks, that in the future we will have a libertarian president. I think the best chance for a libertarian president, if not now, when, is such a shitty thing to have to cope with, because you're like, well, fuck. Well, if this two-party system doesn't collapse our world by then, hopefully, no, the right time for a libertarian president is right now. It's undoubtedly the right time. The fact is that, unfortunately, we have too many mentally retarded duopoly voters. And yes, I can hear my inner Larry Sharpe going, CJ, you have to be nice to these guys because they are the ones that will eventually come over to vote for libertarians. You know, like, we have to, you know, like, it's, no, we need to have a line in the sand, with all due respect to my good friend, Mr. Larry Sharpe. We need a line in the sand. We can have the kinder people out front that are like, hey guys, yeah, we like guns, come to our party. Yeah, no, you see how those brownies, they're not hurting anybody. Oh, I kind of like this party. We can have people that fill all spectrums. You need, as much as the Libertarian Party is about non-aggression, you need people that are willing to, whether it be me or anybody else, that are going to just be willing to say those things that all of us are thinking and feeling. As much as I wish I didn't have to look at this camera and go, you people that are voting for this shit are retarded. I wish that I was saying, hey, America, Joe Jorgensen's president. I'm wrong. I was wrong. You guys are actually smart. I thought that you guys didn't read this thing. Turns out you know more about it than me. But no, we're going to sit here with, again, 4 years of dumb bullshit. I don't blame Joe Jorgensen or Spike Cohen or their team for a loss if they lose hands down, which is expected anyways, because, well, wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. The president says it's rigged. I like to think that in a legitimate election year, you'd be like, well, you know, hey, good race, you know, hey, came down to a few thousand votes. Like, all right, you take over and we'll work harder to get those 1,000 next year. No, this is rigged all the way through, and the Rose Garden path has been primly, properly cut all the way to the Supreme Court deciding this election. Like I said, it just sucks. And I think a lot of libertarians feel that. I think as a candidate, I feel with 17 days, 15 hours, 3 minutes to go, compliments at votemercedes.com. I feel like as we get closer, and again, you can say, well, fuck your feelings, CJ. Yeah, well, fuck your government. At the end of the day, I'm going to sit here and do it as I promised. Have just a cup of coffee. Have a conversation with you. Leave the link open for anybody to join. I've begged Trumpophiles and pedocrats. Just one God. Just one God. I'm begging. Just one. Give me one Trumpophile who's like the best Trumpophile. I am so prepared to debate a Trumpophile that by the end of it, you will not only see the true nature of a Trumpophile manifested on your screen, you might see them just leave the screen. You might see them just get so upset with the truth that they can't handle it, that they break mentally. They might not vote for Joe Jorgensen just because they'll say, CJ, you're an asshole. But you'll see their nature of their reaction. We need to expose how their talking points are essentially just what is the brainwashing. When those news stories come out, when you see this, when you go to google.com, right, and wherever you get your news source, that especially when it's two-party duopoly driven, with the analytics of it, when you're looking at it like this, your first headlines start with the duopoly bullshit. Your morning programming starts with, did you hear what Trump said? Did you see what Biden did? Did you see that moment when she looked like she snickered, but she actually went like this? Like, does that even mean anything anymore? It doesn't. It doesn't mean shit. But again, did you see when she was like, yep, in the debate, Did you see the fly that landed on his head? Did you see that moment when, who fucking cares? These people are committing crimes. They are violating the Constitution. They are denying you proper, substantial, and procedural due process of law in the court system. They are passing laws that are taking your rights and turning them into liberties and privileges. Rights that can be taken away without due process. Privileges. Privileges can be taken without due process. They do it all the time. They do it all the time. Oh, you didn't pay a speeding ticket? There goes your license. Well, so much for your right to travel. Yeah. Either way, it's depressing. It's sad. And it's stupid. Meanwhile, Trump administration rejects California's request for wildfire relief. Good. Let's just let the California burn. But then, remember, I'm proud to be an American, from the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, unless you're California needing wildfire relief. So again, I know that you're already decided, most of you, on who you're voting for. I'm voting for Joe Jorgensen, and it's a no-brainer. Unfortunately, the only thing that the Libertarian Party is going to be able to hope for this year, if not some weird, crazy mainstream media realize, oh fuck, everybody is voting Libertarian, we're about to witness the first ever modern third-party victory in history. Unless there's some massive cover-up, look forward to 4 more years of Donald J. Trump. Everything last night was geared to, are you going to peacefully transition power? This is a very dumb talking point. I think that happened, which president was it? There was like a president that only served 4 years, and they had done this before, where they thought he was going to sit in the White House longer than he was elected. I don't know. It's happened before. Maybe I'll bring you the story on it later. Yes, Matt, there is a new song. Yep, we're gonna parody "God Bless the USA" at some point. And then we'll play it over Donald Trump walking out to a crowd of Trumpophiles as they line up to stroke his ego. Mercedes is in my backstage area. That's what she said. No, I'm not here right now. Okay. Please leave a message after the tone. This hot cocoa is not the same as coffee. No, because cocoa is not a drug. Or is cocoa a drug? I don't know. Is cocoa a drug? I feel like that's a question for Google, at least. Is hot cocoa a drug? Because if it is, it should be. Snorting coke. It's snorting a new drug craze. There's a new drug craze, folks. You can now snort coca instead of cocaine. I don't recommend snorting chocolate. I don't, but I guess that's a thing. What effects does chocolate have on your brain? I'm glad you asked. Chocolate has whoops. I guess I lost it. Chocolate and its base, coca, have long been associated with energy and a sense of well-being, among other things. Research presented by the Journal of Affected Disorders notes that coca is also attributed with the properties of being a stimulant, relaxant, euphorant. Man, big words here. Let's learn what this word means today, shall we? It'll increase your sexual desire, pleasure, and sexual behavior. An aphrodisiac. Why am I not knowing what an aphrodisiac is today? This is how it is. Cocoa powder, not chocolate. Same thing. Same difference. It is 100 the same. It's like red flavored socialism and blue flavored socialism. I know it's not the same. I'm just saying it is. Because it's probably triggering somebody on the other end of a screen. I'm just saying this is the history of chocolate. And now it's in liquid form in cocoa. I get it. Mercedes, I can see you ranting backstage. I don't know how to respond unless I bring you on and hear what you're saying. Or type it in the comments. Call you in a bit, brother. Thanks for kicking ass, Mr. Liberty. I always look forward to a call from you, brother. Anytime we can catch up is good time. I've been really stupid busy with Adam versus the Man and getting back into the grind of the show. And then, of course, been a hectic week with family and Aubrey's birthday. It's just been it's been a hell of a week. A lot of busy things running around. And then again, just trying to relax and enjoy some time in the evening seems to be a bit of a challenge these days. So yeah, whenever, maybe if you're free later this afternoon, I do have the show starting here in about an hour for Adam versus the Man. I mean, I do have a little bit of time if you wanted to even just call in on the show and even say hello. Real quick, this is from the Dakota Rural Action Grassroots Organization for the Future. They sent me a postcard here. This summer, Governor, let me translate this into South Dakota Libertarian for you. This summer, the Queen of Meth proposed combining the Department of Agriculture with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Since this idea has surfaced, the Queen of Meth hasn't given a good reason for the merger beyond claiming additional efficiency. Significant questions and concerns exist about how this merger would impact the operations of both departments. The lack of a good stated reason for the merger leaves questions on why the Queen of Meth is proposing it. If elected to the South Dakota legislature, if elected to the South Dakota legislature, or as we call it, the torture chamber, you will be asked to make a decision on the merger. Will you urge to oppose the merger? Do you support or oppose it? Well, see, here's how I, as a legislator, would legislate. You see how there is a minority voice saying, hey, don't do this? You see how we have all these questions that they're not answering? I don't just vote while the constituents are saying, hey, wait a minute. The questions need to be answered. And I oppose a merger when there are concerned citizens still asking questions that have not been given clear answers. So I will stick this thing in the mail and get that back to you as soon as you can. Now, real quick, I guess I do put my name on it. So that's dakotarural.org. It did come with a fancy little letter here saying who they were and what they're about. It's kind of cool. This has been the one thing about being a candidate that I thought was pretty cool. There's a few of them I've sent back into people, little questionnaires, the things that go up on their website for voters to inform. I've done a few of these and sent them back in. But yeah, so this is just basically a a re-rundown of that card. Frank James, DRA Director. You can find him at 605-697-5204. If you would like to participate in the exposing of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources with the Department of Agriculture, normally I can tell you, if I'm being honest here, Frank, if I'm being frank, these things, if I had an opinion as to why it's happening, it normally has to do with you scratch my back, I scratch yours. We can funnel taxpayer dollars more efficiently. We can commit theft a lot easier if we didn't have two departments operating as their own autonomous checks and balance system. So yeah, they can commit theft easier by combining resources. So that's my guess as to why the Queen of Meth would make that decision. So other than that, I don't really have much else to say as far as news or anything goes. I mean, I do have something as far as to say about news goes. I do, because it's Friday and I can't just leave without mentioning the Queen of Meth one more time. I'm gonna have to use Adam's account here because it's just the only way it's gonna work. Okay, so for all of you libertarians, this is gonna be ear scratching. So for you fucking idiot libertarians, out there that I have to constantly hear, well, Trump is the most libertarian president ever. Kristi Noem is the most libertarian governor we've ever had. Before you idiots get to speak for another minute, you have to pay attention to what I'm about to show you, because you won't be saying that after this.
For years, South Dakotans who deal with drug addiction and crime on the front line have consistently said to me, Kristi, please don't ever legalize marijuana. The fact is, I've never met someone who got smarter from smoking pot. It's not good for our kids, and it's not going to improve our communities. As your governor, I'm urging all South Dakotans to vote no on legalizing marijuana this November.
Paid for by No Way on Amendment A Committee.
Now, I've never met anyone that got smarter on cannabis. No, Kristi, hey, listen here, you cunt. I have met people that's lives were saved because of it. I have met people who have literally been on the brink of ending their own life, was interested in a way out, and then sought treatment, and now use CBD for pain management or cannabis in even a recreational sense. And that is the most ignorant campaign ad I've ever seen. This drug saves lives. It has a racist history. You are the most uneducated woman. In fact, I got dumber by watching your video. I've never met a governor so dumb before. What blows my mind, again, you cunt, because you can't understand normal thinking, is that we can have a plant that has umpteen thousand uses. At one point was smoked by 3 of the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore. Grown by all of them. All of them would be telling you the same thing. I'm channeling my inner George Washington to say this is a cunt. Yes, throw me in Facebook jail for 30 more fucking days, but this woman literally murders people and takes away their unalienable rights to their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And if a doctor says, hey, my patient would benefit from cannabis, she's the one that wants to stand in the middle and deny you that medicine the doctor is recommending. That's the facts. This is something a can't understand normal thinker would do. And it blows my mind that we allow this to continue. So for you, again, retarded libertarians out there in the party that keep saying she's the most libertarian governor. Look at her. She didn't shut down the state. No, what she got really good at was blaming localities, pawning off responsibility on her authority. And then, so that way, if there is somebody, she was really good at putting in a fall guy for everything she did controversial. So to sit there and tell me that this is the woman that's the most libertarian governor, I mean, give me back your libertarian card. I will call you the retard you are and where you belong to be. Oh, where you are. That's about all the time I got, really, honestly. Unless, Mercedes, you want to hop up here and tell the world something. If not, I don't really know what else to say. I beg and plead Trump supporters, Kristi Noem supporters, Biden supporters. I beg and plead with you all. We got 17 days left. I'm begging one of you fucking idiots to join me. I am begging you. You can call me the biggest asshole. You could join me and be like, CJ, you're an asshole. I'll be like, okay, and your person is who you're voting for? Donald Trump. Okay, well, let's start there. I'm begging. I need a Kristi Noem voter to, I mean, it's one thing to know that it's fake on the text. Like the comments, you can pay for comments saying, oh, Kristi, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. You can pay for that shit. I wouldn't put it past them that they have fake accounts that are botting all these complimentary things. But it's another thing to put this link out and have a actual claimant, Trumpophile, pedocrat, Noem voter. I do it about, and it trashes Trump. I guess I'm right over this head. I can't believe I didn't know aphrodisiac. I feel so dumb. That's how dumb this is making me. It's making me dumb. I mean, you'd think after getting fucked this good by government, I would know what aphrodisiac means. Is there hope out there, America? I don't fucking know. I beg and plead with the universe every day. What fucking universe did I wake up in where what we see on the screen is acceptable? And again, you might hate my tactics. You might think I'm an asshole. You might think I'm insensitive. You might think that I am all of the things that you like to feel because it makes you feel better about you. But ultimately, where are you? I put the links up. I say the things. Oh, we just ignore you. That's a terrible decision. You want to know why I think ignoring people is a terrible decision? Because I'm going to eventually be that guy that shows up. And I say that in a way like, we got Reno 2022. We've got the next general election where the Queen of Meth thinks she's going to run for governor. I might just be the East River regional coordinator for the Libertarian Party of Meth Dakota. Almost said South Dakota. Oh, the days where we used to just be South Dakota. I might just be those things, but I can be so much more. You can be so much more. And if there's one thing I think even Mercedes will agree with, when you start off on your first election campaign to where you are after getting closer to election, you're not the same person. You've learned a lot more. You've evolved your positions into ones that are sound arguments. And yes, if the spotlight was put on, if the big lights were on us, like Mr. Harrington had in Arkansas, any one of us candidates would shine like that. Any one of us candidates would speak professionally like our grandma's listening. Grandma, if you're watching my broadcast sitting there in your rocking chair going, oh, Rusty, I don't get you. Well, you partially raised this, so you take responsibility, Grandma. You don't sit there and disown me in the middle of the fight. But when it comes time for the lights to be on, we will undoubtedly have the arguments. We will undoubtedly have the high ground because the other two parties have destroyed this government, destroyed this country. You're never going to get somebody like me who has been just ramrodded and railroaded right through their court system to ever agree with you that this country is great. You are never going to get somebody like me, and there are millions of me. Think about it like that. There are millions of me. There are millions of you that feel that same way, that this government is fucked. Most of them don't vote. But if there was a day where we could get everybody to vote, at least not in the direction of those two, if there was a time in our history where mass communication existed to where the message of the Libertarian Party and any other independent third party out there was able to transcend the censorship, we could make a stand. Is it this year? Probably not. Do I feel optimistic for the future? Absolutely. But I know that the Libertarian Party, just to end on a Libertarian Party note, we need to do something extremely drastic, something that's never been done before in 2024. And I think that that's where Adam Kokesh is going to need to be heard out, that we'll start with a 1 in 4 American vote, 1 in 4 that want to abolish the federal government. We'll never have to worry about ballot access again. We'll never have to worry about an overreaching federal government again if the right message gets out. And yes, this makes me an extremist. CJ, what are you going to do about my roads? CJ, what are you going to do about my health care? CJ, what about my grandma? You just want to kill my grandma. Listen, Ted. Ted, slow down. I have a grandma too. I love my grandma. I don't want my grandma to die. But stop thinking libertarians are trying to kill everybody's grandma. We're not. We just want you to have freedom in your lifetime, because there's a lot of us that realize, at least to the tune of millions of us at this point. I'm going to bet 8.5 million voters. That's my give or take 500,000 guess for this election cycle. Because if every libertarian voter in last election, 2016, got just one more person to vote libertarian, even if they in 4 years just got one, which you'd think would be pretty easy to do, convert one Trumpophile, one pedocrat in 4 years, then you've already doubled the party numbers. It's exponential. I already can assure you on my friends list, I've at least converted a decent amount of Trumpophiles. I didn't really have many pedocrats on my page prior to. But there are certainly some former Trumpophiles who are like, yeah, CJ, there's only so many times you could hit me with I like taking guns first and then going to court to get the due process before I realized he's not pro 2A. There's only so many times you can point out that Judge Amy Barrett supports red flag laws for me to put two puzzle pieces together and go, oh, red flag law. Oh, go figure. So, I mean, and that's if you're only just really a gun lover. I mean, there's other issues too I could go into. So again, this rant went way longer than I thought it was going to. I still got 40 minutes before Adam versus the man. So, but I will tell you, just because I know Mercedes, you're watching here, so we're going to use your website there, votemercedes.com. Help her out, and you can click even here to donate. If she had a store, I'd probably buy a shirt. 17 days, 14 hours, 38 minutes until the election. I'm thinking about it. Nah, not today. Not today. Have a good day or don't. The choice is always yours.
Welcome to Coffee